पादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण. Today we are going to discuss about Catur Veda, that is the four basic Vedic sciences. So this Catur Veda, it involves the four basic Vedic sciences that we need to know about. Like, not necessarily all of us have to read each and everything because it's recommended for different castes and social orders, but we have to know the names of these four and be acquainted with who has to learn what. So this is the four basic Vedic sciences that help in help the society to run nicely. So which means that Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, they can all get their proper knowledge that what are they supposed to do, what is their prescribed duty, occupational duty, Swadharma. So here, among all the cultures that people try to follow in today's world, so people are traveling to different places in the world and trying to learn different cultures. So among all of them, there is only one which is eternal, and this claims to be eternal, and it can be experienced to be eternal. So we who have been in this material world for a very long time, we have been disconnected from this culture. So it was the intense desire of Srila Prabhupada to revive this culture, which is the Vedic culture. So this Vedic culture is the most eternal, most sublime. So all the different kinds of cultures are no doubt trying to lead us to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But so whether the God cannot be Christian, Muslim, Hindu, so God is God. So this is the kind of the Vedic culture which is the most eternal type of culture, and it has been just divided into different forms, like because according to time, place and circumstance for the understanding of people, and has been divided into Vedic culture, into different kinds of culture that we have all over the world. But the ultimate aim is to finally reach here, that is the Vedic culture. Hence Srila Prabhupada, he travelled all over the world in order to revive this Vedic culture. So he revive and reawaken this culture. So he also preached about three gifts of nature, which Bhishma Dev discussed about with Yudhishthir Maharaj, and we have already discussed about this previously in our previous session. So we have taken this topic separately, and the three gifts of nature, if we remember, are cows, land and knowledge. So Saraswati Devi, knowledge is Saraswati Devi. So so this is about the three gifts of nature which even Prabhupada preached. And now in the olden times, especially the king used to get up and he used to look at auspicious things so that the start of the day can be something auspicious. So the first among these things what he looks at is mother cow. So mother cow, as we have discussed in the previous session about the three gifts of nature only, it is the most elevated thing and the most the dearest thing to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. So so this is why we may not have Goshala in our house, but we have to keep we can keep the picture of cows. So even in the altar also we may have the deity of Gomata, so that we can always remember Gomata and worship her. So the mood and mentality should be that cows are part of our family, and it is unthinkable in the village, especially it is unthinkable to live without cows. The biggest mistake in modern day society, biggest mistake is that we think can farm and produce food without cows, and that we can live without cows. So we have the audacity to live without cows and go against the creation, the laws of creation of the Supreme Lord. So the village where the cows have been removed, that means the people are living without cows in the village, that village will no longer remain a village. It is no longer a village only. So this is why the Vedic knowledge and culture stresses the need of education and studies. So understanding this education, that what is a Brahmana supposed to do, what is a Kshatriya supposed to do, Vaishya, Shudra, their work, and how is the Varnasram, the society where the four Varnas and the four Ashramas, the four Varnas are Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and the four Ashramas are Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Varnaprastha and Sannyasa, where all of this can merge smoothly and live, so that there can be an ideal society in this material world. This is for this we need this proper education for different kinds of Varnas. So this is why Prabhupada made courses like Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, all this. So the degrees are being offered in ISKCON to the people who finished these studies, because he wants to train qualified Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudra. So the Brahmanas make up only a small percent of the society. This is why we must also train Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras. As I said just now, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras are also to be trained. So we see that Shudra is also a very important position. So we may say this Shudra word is a controversial word, but in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, chapter 11, one can read that full section. So Canto 7 is mainly the science of God, which describes the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, that is called Utayaha. So Utayaha means, Uti means inclination. So Uti can be good or bad. So good inclination or bad inclination. When the plural, it is called Uti Utayaha. So second, when two kinds of things are there, Utayaha, Atra Sargo Visargascha Sthanam Poshanam Utayaha. So to Srimad Bhagavatam 2nd Canto 10 chapter 1st verse, Atra Sargo Visargascha, which describes, in which there is the word Utayaha, which means the different kinds of inclination, good inclination and bad inclination, so godly and demoniac. So this is 7th canto deals with this, and the first 10 chapters of the 7th canto elaborately deal with the pastime of Prahlad Maharaj, and after this the canto 7 chapters 11 to 15 are very important chapters, and 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and everybody must read them. So perfect society, the four social classes, the four spiritual classes, all of this Narad Muni is saying, and he mentions in this, one can read all this, and he says that there are about 8 to 9 qualities which a Shudra requires, a Shudra. So one needs to have extreme qualification in order to be a qualified Shudra also. So then one can hardly imagine Vaishya, Kshatriya, Brahmana. So this is the deep kind of respect that people used to have for Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and even for being a qualified Shudra also one needs to have some qualifications. Some 8 or 9 qualifications are mentioned for Shudras as well. So this is the system of Varnashram, but today in Kali Yuga, Kalau Shudra Sambhava, which means that everybody is just working as a Shudra, working like an ass, like a donkey, to gain some salary and some money. So this culture has been completely disconnected. This is the reason why everybody is in problems today. So the world finds itself in a precarious position. So pollution of the earth is rising, global warming is rising, the pollutants are being released into the atmosphere, acid rain, and the soil is being destroyed, the soil is being destroyed, trees are being cut down rapidly to meet the needs of the growing population, and the people and to set up industries, etc., etc. So this is why the world is degrading now in the by this kind of things. This is why the Vedic culture is the perfect culture, and this is the Vedic knowledge is perfect knowledge. This is given by the Lord. This is the reason why. So nowadays the scientists today, they have the theory of uncertainty. So yes, it must be uncertain. So because we have not obtained from the Supreme Lord. So maya sakta manha partha yogam yunjan madashraya asamshayam samagramam yatha jnasati tachrunu. So here the word asamshayam means without doubt. This is correct. 7th chapter, 1st verse, Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, because the Supreme Lord is delivering this knowledge. But here the scientists are, so this is the kind of descending process which is coming from the Supreme Lord, all the way down to through the Guru Parampara and finally reaching us. But here the ascending process is where the scientists are spending so much time trying to discover the things. And with the imperfection of senses, one of the defects of the jivas is imperfection of senses. So committing mistakes, cheating propensity, illusion, and imperfection of senses. This is the last defect. The fourth defect is there. That's why we cannot understand all this properly. All the Vedic knowledge, this is why the creation, it is taking 2000 years for a simple realization to occur by the scientists, because they are not they are not receiving the knowledge from the descending way. So people are making simple things complex in today's world, and this is what advancement, this is what they are calling as advancement. So this is why when the jivas, when we think that oh no, we are better than the Supreme Lord, we can do better, we can implement nicely, more better, and we can create nicely, that is when we try to create and we fall into problems. So this is why, so everybody knows in today's world about this kind of things, that this is the problems that are going on in today's world. One may bring in so many United Nations, so many world organization, etc., but the fights still remain. The people, the wars are still going on, people are still dying, and the problems still remain. So this is why, this is because we are disconnected from this culture of the pure Varnasrama dharma, where this is why because the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, everybody has fallen down to the lowest position, and this is why nowadays people are completely disconnected from this culture, and this has led to complete fall down, where people nowadays even have a doubt ki who is God. So even Indians now, this is called the so-called material advancement, that this is this technology, this thing, and that thing, and then the end result is they are asking what is God. So this is the so-called advancement, that we are trying to disconnect ourselves from the Supreme Lord. So if one is not part of Varnashram, he is not a civilized human being at all. So this is why everybody today is in the lowest mode of ignorance. Now within few generations only we can see that so much ignorance is there. So the degradation in Kali Yuga happens even at a faster pace. So in Kali Yuga, dharma is only 25%, and that too at the starting. As it comes down, Kali Yuga has 4,32,000 years, and out of which 5,000 years are over already, so which means 4,27,000 years approximately are remaining. So within 5,000 years only we are able to see so much degradation. So one can only imagine what is going to happen in later years of Kali Yuga. So this is because everybody has disconnected themselves from this. So because we think that we are better controllers and we can do things better, this is why we think that we are more perfect than the Supreme Lord. As a result, we have removed cows, we have removed plows, basically the whole Varnashram we have removed actually. So all the kind of production and things are going down critically. Nothing like almost nothing is natural nowadays. People are the food and all is processed by chemicals. Everything is processed by chemicals nowadays. Artificial living is going on, completely artificial. Natural people have completely lost connection with natural things. That is the reason why they are now people are dying slowly, quickly people are dying. So people know the truth that this Kali Yuga. People know the truth. Enjoyment cannot be found in this world, but still they are somehow or other they are hoping ki, oh no, someday we will the scientists will discover something and we will somehow or other will find happiness. So that's why for little sense gratification everybody is working like anything. So this is why so much degradation is happening in Kali Yuga, because we have been completely disconnected from this. So we have to always emphasize on this. We have to revive this Varnashram Dharma. So Srila Prabhupada worked and he said ki 50% of my mission is remaining, that is Varnashram Dharma, implementing Varnashram. So whenever this Varnashram matter comes out, especially in ISKCON, one of the first names that come is His Holiness Bhakti Raghav Swami Maharaj, who is tirelessly working to spread this knowledge of Varnashram, that how we are degrading completely, and this system has to be brought up again. So now here also let's just see coming back to this point. So let us just see two qualities that are meant for Shudras. So out of 30 qualities of humans, first 4 are pillars of dharma: tapa, shaucham, daya, satyam. These 4 things, and out of this shaucham and satyam are meant for Shudras. So shaucham means cleanliness and satyam means honesty, truthfulness. So we see that even for being a Shudra we require some qualities. So one can only imagine about Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas. So this is how elevated people used to be. So this is not just a name today. So people are just saying that people are just identifying by birth ki oh, he is a Brahmana. But the actual thing is qualification. Brahmana is just not a name. It is just a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, these Varnashram. This is not an ordinary name. This is not some ordinary designation or something that we are talking about. It is something very sublime. It is something that is coming down from ancient times, from the history of the time where Lord Krishna was there, and even before that. So this is why Srimad Bhagavatam, scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam have recounted this. Vyasadeva, the incarnation, the literary incarnation of the Lord, he has written. So the incarnation of the Lord, who has compiled all the scriptures, he has emphasized this about Varnashram Dharma in Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is not something ordinary. So one must try to revive this, and to revive this, the 4 basic Vedic sciences or the Chatur Veda are very important. And this Chatur Veda is mentioned even in Kautilya's and Chanakya's Arthashastra. So this knowledge that is given by the Lord, it never changes and it is eternal. So as we discussed, asamshayam samagram mam yatha jnasasi tat chrunu. So asamshayam, without any doubt, asamshayam samagram, complete, fully complete. So it never changes. Like today in this world, we see that people are upgrading from one laptop to another, from one phone to another, from one car to another. So from one level to the next, people are upgrading, which means that this knowledge is not perfect. So this knowledge or the things that we have today is not perfect. So even we see that for school we have to buy new books, we have to buy new notebooks, we have to train them in different ways. We have sometimes it may happen that we have to change school as well, because changing books, changing the teachers also change, the books also change. Every year we have to buy new things. So this means that this knowledge is based on scientific discoveries. It is not perfect. It's not perfect knowledge. That's why it keeps changing. But this Vedic scripture, if it is unaltered, if it is spoken by a pure devotee who is not having any motive, personal motive behind it, it is the most sublime. If it is spoken by a pure devotee, it can make one a devotee of the Lord. So the special connection with parampara, the thing is that only parampara possesses this property of bestowing pure love upon a person. So if one just hears from a bogus guru, he will not get pure devotional service. He, in fact, the guru is preaching with the bogus guru is preaching with the personal motive. Only the desire for sense gratification, only the desire for material achievements of the person who is hearing will increase. So it is like milk touched by the lips of a serpent, which should never be consumed. So shravanam naiva kartavyam sarpochistam yathapayah. So now coming back here, when we speak about Varnasrama, we speak about Vedic sociology. Now, Vedic perspective of society. Under this, there are 6 things. Number 1, Veda is based on unchanging knowledge. It is given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the first thing. Number 2, Vedic knowledge is both scientific and eternal, which means that it is Vijnan, it is science. So, and the third thing, Lord Krishna has created the social model of Varnasrama. So, Vedic perspective of society, so these few points come, that how Varnashram is the perfect thing, that it is based on unchanging knowledge which is given by the Lord. That's the first thing. And the second thing is that it is both scientific and eternal. And the third thing is that the Lord has created it. And then it covers both spiritual and material sciences, which is material and spiritual Swadharma. So this is about it. And the fifth thing is applying Vedic principles maintains harmony for individuals, society and nature, assuring sustainable ecosystems. So even here as well, so this is about the Vedic perspective of society, which shows that the Vedic perspective, that is the Varnashram Dharma, it is the most pure, the most sublime thing. And the last is that Bhakti Vinoda Thakura's Dasa Moola Tattva establishes the science of Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojana with Veda as the source of all knowledge. So these are 6 points under Vedic perspective of society. Now moving forward, we have spoken about Catur Veda, 4 basic sciences. Now what are those 4 basic sciences? What are we trying to say ultimately? So the first thing, let us go line by line. So the first one is the first Vedic science. So Catur Veda is 4 sciences in Vedic sociology with 4 features. So number 1, Vedic philosophy. Its Sanskrit name is Anvikshiki and it is for all Dvijas. So Dvijas means twice born. So the first birth is where there is a biological father and the biological mother, and the second birth is where there is the Guru as the father and the Vedas as the mother. So for all the people who are twice born, that is the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas. So Sankhya, Yoga and Tarka are part of this Anvikshiki. So Vedic philosophy. So Sankhya, which means the analytical study, and Yoga means connection with the Supreme Lord. Under Yoga there are so many: Hatha Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, that is the most elevated, and Tarka means debates. These are three parts, and Brahmanas, they study this in detail the most, and Kshatriyas study it little lesser, like not too much in detail, like, but they should know about it. And Vaishyas study this even lesser than that of the Kshatriyas. So which means that Vaishyas, they just get a brief overview, but Kshatriyas, they study it in an even more deep way, and Brahmanas study it in detail completely. So this is the first Vedic science, that is Anvikshiki, that is Vedic philosophy. Now moving to the second Vedic science, which is Vedic education. Its Sanskrit name is Trayi, and it is for Brahmanas. So there are 14 books to study, 14, 1-4, and it is in Gurukula. So Brahmanas, they study this. And then the third Vedic science is 4.3 Vedic politics. Vedic politics or Dandaniti. So this is for Kshatriyas. So as Kshatriyas are supposed to administer the state, take over the administration of the state, this is why the Dandaniti, that is the for Kshatriyas. And Kshatriyas are meant to hear this 3 times a day in Sandhyas. So meant to hear this 3 times a day. So how many times are Brahmanas meant to listen? So we should understand that even the Kshatriyas, so Brahmanas is not just a person who is just by a name he is a Brahmana. He needs to have extreme qualification. So Shamo Damas Tapas Shaucham Shanti Rajyavam Evacha Jnanam Vijnanam Astikyam Brahma Karma Swabhavajam. Bhagavad Gita 18.41-42, somewhere around that. So here Prabhupada says that if Brahmanas and Kshatriyas are trained nicely and their culture is brought up, the whole world can benefit. So Kshatriyas and Kshatriya Gurukulas are needed alongside Brahmana Gurukulas. So Prabhupada is saying that the Kshatriya Gurukulas, where the Gurukulas in which the Kshatriyas can be trained, and alongside the Brahmana Gurukulas where the Brahmanas can be trained. And this is the third science. And the fourth science is Vedic economics or Varta. The Sanskrit name is Varta, Varta, and it is for Vaishyas. So in this, agriculture plus cow protection, agriculture and cow protection are the basis for Vedic economic society. So Vedic economics comes Bhagavad Gita 18.44, Krishi Goraksha Vanijyam Vaishya Karma Swabhavajam Paricharyatmakam Karma Shudrasyapi Swabhavajam. This is Vedic economics. So now this is about the 4 basic Vedic sciences. So we have discussed them in detail. So we can start Varnashram college if we have just one Brahmana, just one qualified Brahmana. We can start Varnashram college. So this is how Prabhupada is saying that it is essential to bring it back into society. So these 4 Vedic sciences, they make up the curriculum for traditional education. And there are other types of education like the 64 types of arts that are for rest of the population. So these Varnasrama colleges, they will establish their faculties based on these 4 fields of knowledge. So there are so many books and websites and the links and the names of the books are given in the description of this particular session, the video. So please refer to them and read them, and please try to keep cows in your house, or else please try to be with cows and gain the association of cows. So because we have to revive this system of Varnashram back into society. So His Holiness Bhakti Raghav Swami Maharaj, along with so many other personalities. We have His Holiness Bhakti Raghav Swami Maharaj, who is tirelessly working to spread this, traveling all over the world. Even though he lost one leg in Mayapur because of the bomb blast by certain people in the Mayapur temple, he lost his leg, and still he is working tirelessly trying to spread this knowledge. So this is the 4 basic Vedic sciences which Prabhupada recommended, and Maharaj has also written them in his books. So the books of Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada and a few other books as well are there in the description, and some websites are there in the description as well. So one can read the books and refer to the websites where there are elaborate descriptions even in the website as well, how this Varnashram is very important, and how everyone should be part of Varnashram. Otherwise nobody can be a civilized human being. So we have lost connection with Varnashram. That is the reason why we are completely stuck, and the world finds itself in a precarious position due to this, because we think that we are more intelligent than the Supreme Lord, and we can do the things on our own. That's why we are in a precarious position now. So we must again try to surrender and take to this process of pure devotional service again, and ensure that everybody is employed and they're in their own duties in this Varnashram. So this is the end of my humble attempt to explain the 4 basic Vedic sciences and about Varnashram. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams.